MyMac Podcast 953. Scary Wrong.
Hi everyone and welcome to this week's mighty, I'm going to keep going, mighty MyMac podcast. Well, Guy, remember a few weeks ago when we thought there wouldn't be another Mac event this year? Or did we actually say the exact opposite? Hard to say, as the overblown reverb meant that most people couldn't stand listening to us. How are you, Guy?
Let's see. Come on. There we go. And
That
no
was
bounce.
that was a callback to Laurel Hardy. Did you notice that?
I did.
Hello.
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 Yeah, we tried
In
doing the
the
whole
Blue
Abbott and
Ridge
Costello
Mountains
thing,
of
but it just didn't work.
Virginia.
The Blue
No.
Ridge Mountains of Virginia.
Yeah.
I don't.
On the
Okay.
trail of the lonesome Laurel and Hardy. Come on.
Oh
He hits
gosh,
him with
I don't
he
remember.
hits him with the hammer. Dong. In the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Hits him again. In the Blue Ridge Mountains. You search for it afterwards.
I will. And do you remember the name of the film?
That's a brilliant Laurel and Hardy sketch. Just
What,
like
do you
Laurel and
remember
Hardy
the name
sketch.
of the movie that it was in? Okay,
Just
I will.
go Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, Laurel and Hardy. It'll come up, and if it doesn't,
And of course,
I'll
you've
find
seen
it for you.
You've seen the Abbott and Costello Who's on First.
Oh yes.
Yeah. There's actually some, and I know this is completely off topic. There's a couple of great videos out there
on topic
of people from the UK who, and most of which have probably never heard of Abbott and Costello.
Oh, we've heard of Abbott and Costello a lot.
I don't mean, not your generation, yes.
Okay.
Or our generation, yes.
Yeah.
But people that are like under the
I'm
age
younger
of
than you.
30. Yeah. But people that are under the age of 30 have probably never heard of Laurel and Hardy or, so many of the cultural references
The Beatles
that we grew up with. Oh, no, I can't. Sorry. No. There's a line. That is crossing the line. If you haven't heard of the Beatles, don't even listen to this podcast anymore. That's all I have to say. No fooling. Exactly. But they hadn't seen the Who's on First sketch. And to see people see that for the very first time is hysterical. It brings back all of the fun. Even if you've seen that sketch 1,000 times, it brings back all the funny to see somebody watch it for the first time.
Yeah. There's some classics. Anyway.
They are. Getting back to what this show is actually about, which is us, of course, and some Apple
Mac
stuff.
No.
Nah. I've actually done very little over the course of the week. But if you remember last week, I asked you, I don't know if I did it on air or off, but I asked your opinion on getting a Q charge case for my first gen iPod since I got the new ones.
And I wasn't too sure whether you should.
Yeah, well, I went ahead and got them. Anyway.
I knew you wouldn't listen to me. It's like,
but oddly,
you'd speak to me about mics and I talk back to you, but it's like what you're hearing. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Well, oddly enough, it's funny you should say that because it's actually been 2 to 3 months since I've bought a microphone, and I have to say the withdrawal symptoms have almost disappeared.
That's good. You've got through it. You're getting through. That's great.
Oh, it's so hard. It's so.
I
keep seeing that there's. Go ahead.
Do you still keep going? Do you go to therapy on it? It's a big group. I've stopped buying mics for 3 weeks. 4 hours and 27 seconds. Yay!
Yay! Have a cup of coffee and a cigarette. So, I have some other stuff coming that I'll talk about in the coming weeks. Actually, later on in the show, there's something I might be buying depending on what happens on Monday. But we'll talk about that later. How have you been doing there, Gaz?
Well, Well, I'm doing well. I would just like to say, people,
Yeah.
that Guy in particular, we had a piece last week about the fact that we wanted to make sure that Apple weren't censoring people, and that John Stewart, was it John Stewart,
Yeah,
wasn't
Jon
pulled
Stewart.
because of anything in particular. Well, it certainly seems like that certainly isn't the case. How many times can I get certainly in one sentence? Certainly quite a few
Certainly.
times. Um,
Many.
and many times, yes. Certainly I can do it many times, for sure, certainly.
Certainly.
So that's good news, because it
It is
feels
good
and
news.
it sounds like they parted on amicable reasonings.
Terms?
And that
Reasoning, yeah.
is amicable terms, yeah. The reason being, the show wasn't being watched enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing, I even said right at the very beginning that I was not a fan of Jon Stewart,
Yeah.
that I had never actually watched the
So it was
Apple
your
TV
fault.
show.
It was your fault.
If only I, excuse me, if only I had watched whatever the hell that, I can't even remember the name of the show now that he did. Problem with Jon Stewart.
The problem with Jon Stewart. The problem with Jon Stewart is he's on a podcast. Anyway, it was anyway. So it looks like the censoring that we were concerned about hopefully isn't happening. But keep your eyes open. We don't want it to go on in the future.
Yes.
A certain number of costs have gone up with Apple. I might come to that in the snippets, but it means that I'm going to start actually thinking I might not be subscribing to Apple TV Plus.
Ooh.
So I'm going to have to work. That means I'm going to have to do it on a bit part basis. And then I'm going to have to work out whether I can do sharing. So,
you mean the premium? You mean the premium?
Yeah. No, well, it's not the premium one.
Where it gives you all of the
It's the family one. It's the family one where it gives you a load of services. The premium one gives you news one and the sports and that stuff.
Yeah, I don't use. I know what you mean, because I don't use fitness. I don't really.
Well, I don't use. Well, I don't. I only do the family one, which doesn't have the fitness one in it anyway. So that's fine. It has the arcade. It has music. It has TV Plus. But if the TV Plus, if I just want the music, because I'm not really using, there is a couple of games on arcade which I use, but actually if I use those games a lot, if I can buy them, I'll go out and buy them and then stop paying and just pay for the music and my iCloud account. So I've got to look into it and see, but we'll come back to that because their costs are going up, not unsubstantially either. So hopefully I'll come back to it a little bit
And it's
later.
the second time in 2 years.
Well, yeah, things are going up. So I get it. But it just means, Apple, that you won't be getting my money, that you're not,
as much of it
was free money. Yeah. Certainly Netflix have found that out. I shall be just dipping into those. And the next time my Disney costs come up, I shall back out of that and just see. You see, what will happen is, though, they'll then say, oh, no, you can't just buy us on a monthly basis. You have to buy us on a 12-month rolling contract.
Yeah.
They might find that problematic if they do that. Anyway, this week, what have I been doing? 3 good cycle rides, Guy.
Nice.
About a 50 miler, an 18 miler, which was fairly relaxed because I was actually going to volunteering, which I've done 2 lots of volunteering this week. And then the third ride was Thursday night. What is it now? It's Saturday. So no, Friday. And it was quick. I enjoyed it. Really good, actually. So but that, 2 lots of volunteering, as I mentioned, clearing a pine tree, chatting to an analytics firm about some work. Not work, just helping them out. Might do some work. All depends. Possibly going down to London, visit them. But geez, Guy, I wish I was back at work for a rest.
I know, it's busy. It's like, oh no, just all you have to do, Gaz, is just ride your bike all the way into London and back, and then you've got everything covered for your work.
Actually, that might not be a bad idea. I could do that.
Don't do it today.
You've got me thinking today. Anyway, I've done little on MyMac. I think we just jumped straight into Gaz's snippets. Okay, so China has launched a tax investigation into Foxconn.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like Apple, really? China again?
No. Tax audits and land use inquiries follow the company founder announcing a run for Taiwan presidency.
Ooh. Hmm.
We'll see
Well,
how
trying
that
to be
goes.
upset about something in Taiwan. What?
Can't think
Yeah.
why. I mean, Taiwan is part of China, isn't it? No. Yes.
Not yet.
No. Yes. No. Yes. No. All depends who you ask. American teens want the parents to track their iPhones with apps like Apple's Find My. Members of Gen Z, ages 11 to 26, say their family location sharing apps, they use family location sharing apps to bolster a sense of security. Now, this was done in the US. I heard Carl go on about this. Boy, did he have a bee in his bonnet about it. Calm down, Carl.
Oh, when I was a lad, he just got chucked out of the house at 6 o'clock in the morning. I never got back until it was 8 o'clock at night, and nobody ever worried about me.
No, Carl, that's because you were 6'10", 500 pounds, and could look after yourself. Yes,
It is
anyway.
kind of crazy that I mean, because our generation and the X and some of the other ones just before we got to the Z's were so incensed about being monitored and all the rest of that. And it's just so weird to hear say, well, we want our parents to know where we are, even though we're 26 years old. It's like, really? Really? You're still at home then, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
Is that where you are? Okay.
The funny thing is, we're quite sensitive to being monitored and being tracked. However, a lot of parents and people of our age want to track their kids. Huh?
Yeah,
Think about
yeah.
that. Think about that, folks.
Yeah. It's like,
Good for the goose isn't always good for the gander.
Exactly.
Apple are to open the 46th Apple retail store in mainland China on November the 4th. So it may already be open by the time you're listening to this. 46. So another 4 stores, now 50. Now, hang on a minute. Wow. Is that 46 in China?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Blimey. 46 stores.
Well, I think like Beijing and Shenyang and some of the largest cities have.
They are quite, well, that's the thing.
Well,
in China.
How many are in London?
I don't know, 4, 5, 6 maybe.
And where I am here in DC, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stores.
For anybody listening, anybody on the podcast, he's actually just running around the town now, counting them.
Yeah, exactly. Right at this very minute.
Absolutely. Right, yeah. No, I suppose that's true because the cities in China are quite big.
They are.
An Apple Watch has been certified waterproof to depths of 50 meters since Series 2, with which has a more rugged design to withstand most challenges scenarios, as you can imagine. Water resistance has been increased to a depth of up to 100 meters. But what happens if you put your Apple Watch underwater for months?
Nothing good.
Guy. Well, a guy basically has recovered it from a lake after months of it being down there.
And it's still working.
Seems to be working. How he found it, I don't know. Because after months, the battery would have died. I don't know how he located it.
Well, maybe he pinged it, or I don't know. That's weird.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that anymore. And as we mentioned earlier, Apple has announced a special event for October 30th. Scary fast. Now, how many days has October, Guy?
31.
Right. So Halloween is actually on the 31st, isn't it?
Yes, that's Tuesday. So this is like Halloween Eve.
Yeah. It's everybody's been going.
Night event.
Yeah, I don't get, but it's like they're going on about it's at midnight on the 30th of October going into Halloween. But for me, Halloween is actually what?
Because it's
I suppose in America you have Halloween week, don't you?
No. We have it's supposed to start at 5 o'clock on Monday the 30th Pacific time,
Oh,
and that's
you are-
9 o'clock here.
yeah. So basically, it is Eve that you do it. Oh,
Yeah,
Christmas
or that
Eve,
they're doing
Halloween
it.
Eve. I think I can
Halloween.
see Carl now slapping his head and screaming at the top of his voice, "We don't want Halloween. We want our
That's
Guy
exactly
Fawkes."
what he was saying on the last
Yeah.
show.
We want our Guy Fawkes back, and I agree with him. Apple
Yeah,
has rebuffed
just
a
to burn him.
request. Apple has a request for Eddie Q to testify in NFL Sunday Ticket class action lawsuit. Okay, so Apple
What?
is fighting a subpoena because a judge, they've asked a US judge to reject a subpoena that could require the company to reveal corporate secrets tied to its failed effort to carry the National Football League's NFL Sunday Ticket.
What
I
difference
think
does
this
it
is.
make?
It's not because they've been rejected. I think somebody is putting a class action lawsuit into the NFL about obviously them
Their
taking lots of
practices.
money. And because Apple have been part of that process, the court is asking obviously a subpoena to Apple to come and say, okay, so what was the process? How much did you bid? And I don't think Apple particularly want to do it.
No, honestly, it's nothing to do with anybody's business. They didn't get the bid. Somebody else did.
No, I know, but if there's a class action lawsuit which is related to the reason they had to bid in the way they did, then I kind of get it. But they are trying to get out of being subpoenaed because they may have to give too much information away. Apparently, the Apple Watch double gesture is now available with Watch OS 10.1. Don't think it matters what Apple Watch you've got unless you've got a real early one.
The gestures.
Oh,
might
no.
matter.
The new double tap gesture for Apple Watch Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra 2 is now available. So, yeah, anything
so
earlier
it's a
than
double
that.
tap gesture. It's not like any gesture you might do with
No,
your
it's
hands
it's
and
the double,
fingers.
it's the double fingers, you know. Hey,
Okay, yeah.
hey, you come over here. I
Yeah,
smash your face.
Let's piss off all the Italians. Okay, yeah, we pissed off the French and the Germans, so why not?
You know, we'll get round to them all eventually. Apple
Sure.
TV Plus is getting more expensive, but here's how to save. Yeah, here's how to save. Basically, very difficultly. Basically.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into that, but the costs, they are jumping a little bit. Actually, I thought I had a list of the costings. Some of the things have gone up like $3. It's quite a big percentage increase on some of them. And as you said pre-show, it's been less, in 2 years, there's been an increase.
Yeah.
So
This is the second
I
time.
think Apple might find that their TV Plus content might put some people off, not because the content itself isn't good, but it's basically once you've watched it all, well, you've watched it all.
Well, and you know what? Part of the problem, at least this time around, has been the writers and actors strike. So there's been.
I disagree.
Well, no, I don't think so, because there hasn't been a whole lot of new content that's been created, and I mean, we don't really know
Agreed.
what
and
Apple has in the pipeline.
But Apple TV's never been pushing out tons of content, have they?
What they've done more, I think, in the last 2 years than they did prior.
Still not enough. I still don't think it's enough.
I don't disagree with that, but I think that the writer's strike has slowed it down for everybody. I mean, even the major networks here in the United States have
wait, hold on.
Hang on
a minute. No, I'm going to stop you. No, I'm going to stop. I'm just going to talk over you so nobody can hear what you're saying. The problem is they still don't have enough content. So if you're going to have a price increase, have it when the writers are back, and you can then say, look at all the extra content that we've now got. I know it's gone up, but now we've got a whole load more. You go to one of those other services, they've still got plenty of content which you could browse through. You do that with Apple, they haven't got enough.
Well, because Apple has all new stuff. And
What
a
new
lot
stuff?
of the other streaming services. No. I'm saying the stuff that Apple has is stuff that they've created that you can't get on most other platforms. Whereas the other streaming platforms have purchased rights and all the rest of that for older content. So if you haven't seen the fifth season of I Dream of Jeannie or whatever, you can go and watch that if you want to.
Yeah, but
it's
they've
not
got
like
so much more. They've got so much more to be able to go through and browse, and Apple putting it
I
up
know,
now
but
without
it's
the
not
extra
necessarily
stuff.
brand new stuff. That's
I'm
the
not.
point of
I'm
it.
not saying that. I'm not saying that it's brand new stuff, Guy. The point I'm making is they haven't got a big
Okay.
enough catalog. I
No, they
think for
don't.
people, I think it's a bad timed increase. I'm not saying that they shouldn't put it up, but I think it's a bad timed one. Because I'm now
Okay.
thinking, well, I've seen everything I need to see on Apple TV. There's no more content on there, and the amount of content they were bringing through, fine, but I think they're going to struggle. I think they're going to struggle.
Just
Crikey, these are supposed
Tom
to be
Hanks.
snippets.
I know.
These are
Watch Tom
supposed to be
Hanks in
snippets.
Greyhound again for the fourth or fifth time, I guess.
Yeah, thanks. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's an Apple research app that now lets users share family health history with studies. Interesting, because I come to another point further on, which could be useful. macOS Sonoma 14.1 update released for the Mac, iOS 17.1 update released, and iPhone and iPad OS 17.1 for iPad. I thought there was also a watch. Yes, watch OS 10.1 has been released, and it finally apparently fixes an annoying weather app complication bug. Complication? That's not right, is it? Yeah.
No, that's right. Well, not complication. Okay. Oh God.
That's what it says here. They've done this wrong. They've actually gone.
Yeah, well,
complication.
It's the little. If you look at like the sides of your screen on the Apple Watch, sometimes stuff works and sometimes stuff doesn't.
Apple TV Plus announces new docuseries, John Lennon, Murder Without a Trial. Still not enough to keep me. Deutsche Bank cuts Apple target price to $200 from $210. I normally talk about when Apple's going up. Let's talk about when they go down. iOS 16.7.2, iPad OS 16.7.2, iOS 15.8, iPad OS 15.8 have been released for older iPhone and iPad models. macOS Ventura 13.6.1, macOS Monterey 12.7.1 has also been released. Apple doing their stuff there in keeping your older devices secure. Now, especially now, Carl lives in Enfield, or lived in Enfield, or was born in Enfield, or currently still lives in Enfield, whatever it is. The Enfield Poltergeist. Yeah, the Enfield Poltergeist has been or is being released as on Apple TV Plus.
Still not enough.
Still not enough. Potential Apple Watch. This sparked my interest very briefly. Potential Apple Watch ban issued by the U.S. Trade Tribunal in Massimo patent battle, if I could speak. The U.S. International Trade Commission last Thursday ordered a ban on Apple Watch imports into the country after finding that Apple violated pulse oximetry, whatever that word is, OXIMETRY, whatever that word is. The company Massimo patents with the devices. The ban is now subject to presidential review. So Biden's got to say whether it can go through or not. So it doesn't take immediate effect, and Apple can take the ban to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit after a 60-day review period ends. Presidents have rarely vetoed bans in the past. We shall see. The French iPhone ban, do you remember?
Oh, yes.
apparently it still applies to some countries' overseas territories. So France has got some overseas territories still, apparently. Hey, we're getting rid of ours, folks. French, Napoleon, they've still got theirs. I shouldn't say that. That's really going to annoy the French, isn't it?
Well, I mean, there's a
Anyway.
lot of countries. There's a lot of countries in west coast of Africa that still has their currency tied to the franc through what's called
absolutely.
the CFA.
The franc.
CFA isn't, French franc.
Franc doesn't.
Oh,
exist
okay. Well, yeah, it's the euro.
Anyway, Apple has seemingly forgot to issue the update to those countries.
And to my brain, since I still think they use the franc.
The Tata Group is to become India's first homegrown Apple iPhone assembler. Apple Watch is making unmistakable progress in identifying the risk of Parkinson's. This is obviously going back as a bit of a link to some of those apps, research apps that you could come to, but that is really quite revolutionary, I think. Just incredible what something on your wrist can now tell you, in terms of your health. I've got two items here. I'm just going to read the titles, right? The first title, What to Expect from the Scary Fast October 30th Apple event. Second one, same company, same website, What Not to Expect from Apple's Scary Fast October 30th event. I thought that just made me laugh, that did. Apple private Wi-Fi hasn't worked for the past 3 years. 3 years after Apple introduced a menu setting called Private Wi-Fi Address, a way to spoof network identifiers called MAC addresses, the privacy protection may finally work as advertised, thanks to a software fix. 3 years. Naughty, naughty, naughty Apple. And that, guy, is the end of, at times, a heated Gazzy Snippets.
I'm going to let you finish. I still want to talk about Apple TV.
Well, you can if you want.
No, I really don't want to.
You really don't. You really don't.
I really don't. Yeah, I was kind of... Here's the thing about my rants. If you interrupt them early on, I forget where the thread goes. So that's... But Gaz and I have known each other for so long. He's like, cut him off the knees, make him stop before he gets started, because otherwise he'll never stop. So let's talk about the Scary Fast event. We were just, and I don't have much in the way of notes here. I don't think we really need it. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. And it was kind of along the lines of, I think, or at least I said that I expected there to be an Apple Mac event. If they were going to release M3 chips, that it was going to be some kind of Mac event. I didn't expect what they're doing, but I did. And I also didn't expect it to be until probably some point in November. So the fact that they're having it now at the end of October kind of tells me a couple of things. Number one, that it's probably going to be more along the lines of a consumer event for sure, because they want to get products in the pipeline for Christmas. So if it's a Mac event...
Have you got any Christmas bells that you could play there?
I do. But I'm not sure which one it is.
Okay, we'll leave that then.
Yeah. And if I play the wrong ones, that could be a bad thing. Boy, that's a joke that goes so far back. Anyway.
Yeah, years. Anyway, sorry.
Years. Over 10 years, I bet. So I think they will be releasing a M3 iMac. I don't think it's going to get an increase in size. I don't think there's going to be anything that's really all that different about an M3 iMac, other than the fact that it has an M3 in it. What do you think?
I'm really not. The 24-inch, I think they're keeping it there, so it's obviously still a good seller. It's also a good. You see it in so many offices, and you see it also in lots of film shots.
Yes, you do. Especially the
So
ones that have some color in it now.
yeah, yeah. And I think that they obviously get enough sales to it. So making it an M3, it doesn't have to be the fastest M3 chip. It
No,
could be
and it
just
won't
the
be.
low end. It'll be the low end M3 chip, so you don't have to worry about it becoming all of a sudden a pro machine that everybody's going to want.
No.
So yeah, I think there's a great possibility that an M3 Mac could appear, definitely, because that is a great Christmas treat. But I nearly swore then. No, I'm going to say it, a bloody expensive Christmas treat. But hey, if they just want to get a load of new products out for the Christmas season, do it now.
Yeah, yeah. As far as the rest of the line, I think there will also be a Mac Mini, and I think the Mac Mini will cover both the low and mid range. So I think there'll be the M3 Mac Mini, that there'll be an M3 Max, possibly even an M3 Pro, not the Ultra. And along those lines, I think there will also be a new M3 Max Studio that will include, if they release the entire line of M3 chips, an M3 Ultra powered Mac Studio.
Yeah, I don't think they'll bring out a Mini without bringing out an Ultra. They might bring out an Ultra without bringing out a Mini, but if they bring out a new Mini, updated Mini, they'll definitely bring out an Ultra.
Oh, I don't think that the Mini is going to get the Ultra. I think it'll get the Pro.
No, sorry. I misspoke there. Sorry. They won't.
Okay,
Sorry,
okay.
I completely misspoke. What I meant to say was, if they bring out a Mini which is updated to an M3, whatever version, they are definitely going to bring out a Studio, a Mac Mini Studio. Call it a Mac Mini Studio. Shouldn't really. It's just a Mac Studio. However, if they just bring out a Mac Studio with an M3 version, it wouldn't surprise me if you then didn't see a Mac Mini. But you won't see a Mac. Yeah, I definitely, it wouldn't surprise me if you saw a Mac Studio come out updated, but you didn't see an updated Mini. However, if you see an updated Mini, you'll definitely see a Mac Studio.
Okay, I'm going to go slightly reverse from that. That if they come out with an M3 iMac, there will definitely be an M3 Mac Mini.
Okay,
but not necessarily the Studio.
This is like Domino's, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. But I because their two biggest selling desktops are definitely going to be the iMac and the Mac Mini. The Mac Studio is more for the prosumer line than the Mac Mini, and certainly more so than the iMac. I don't think we're going to see a new Mac Pro, not yet. It just doesn't seem like the right time for it. And I think that this particular presentation, especially seeing how they're, for reasons, not bringing it out until 5:00 Pacific time, is not going to be like one of their 2-hour long presentations like they've done before. I think this is going to be relatively short. It's going to be, here's the M3. We've got, because when you look at the rumored, oh, look at the animations. When you look at the rumored specs of the M3, it doesn't sound like it's going to have any more cores than the M2, but with the smaller die, that it'll be a little faster, it'll be a little more efficient, so on and so forth. So I think we're looking at iMac, definitely, for me, in my opinion, iMac, Mac Mini, likely a Mac Studio. And you're kind of going, what, iMac and Mac Studio, or Mac Mini and Mac Studio, or just Mac Studio?
I think if they go Mac Mini, they will definitely have a Studio. So you're saying that if they have a iMac, they'll definitely have a Mac Mini. So I think there could be all three.
Okay, yeah. And very well. I mean, it depends on how much time, if they're releasing an M3, and I can't see them putting out new Macs without an M3, especially calling it scary fast, that the whole desktop line will probably be thrown out there. Now, what do you think? Do you think they'll do anything with the laptop line? Because it wasn't that long ago for the laptops.
I'm not sure about the laptops.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the edge there too.
I think they might, if it's consumer that they're pushing out, and I get your understanding about the studio, but if it's consumer, if it is just consumer they're going for, then obviously the Air might get touched, because
that was just updated. It was like,
I know.
what, 6 months ago?
Yeah, I know, but Apple don't care, mate. They don't care.
This is like such a weird time and announcement for an event like this, but that it kind of throws you off a little bit.
Yeah. You see, they might. I think they might go with the Air, and then the 13-inch with the M1 chip that's currently available, then drops out, and then they'll just have available the M2 chips. Don't know.
For the pros.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
this is all speculation, of course.
Yeah, well, it is. Well, here's the biggest speculation, then, Guy. Let's really go. Are you finished on that now? Is that done?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go for the real in-depth, the cutting edge of speculation. I reckon the video will last 43 minutes.
I wouldn't I think it's going to be under an hour, but yeah. And actually, before we get off this, do you think that there'll be anything else announced? Do you think iPads or new? I know that some have speculated about the bigger AirPods and things along those lines. With an event called Scary Fast, I just don't see that. And it wasn't that long ago that a lot of the iPads were already updated. And if this event is meant to push M3s, well, we're not going to see M3s and iPads anytime soon.
No, I don't think this event is going to do that. They might just do a release of some other items, but it'll just be a release.
Yeah.
So it won't be, they've built this up, haven't they? Whereas they can just go, here's a release. We've got new products out there. Everybody goes, "Ooh, why didn't they do anything?" Ooh. But this is for them to go and sell the M3 technology as well.
Yeah. And if, oh God help me, if they do announce a new Mac Mini, M3 Mac Mini, maybe even a Mac Studio, I might go ahead and get one, Gaz.
You're so sad.
I mean, I've had this Mac Mini now.
You need one, Guy.
I know that.
You've had your Mac Mini the same time as me, and it's working perfectly fine.
How many microphones do I have, Gaz?
It doesn't matter. It
does matter. It entirely matters. It is a pattern of behavior that I have followed for most of my life.
Okay, Guy, if they come out with a new Mac Studio, if you don't buy one, I'll be disappointed.
Well, me too. I will too.
Are you done?
Yeah.
I'm nodding my head.
Oh, and I wasn't even ready. He's still nodding his head. He's waiting for me to get ready.
Gaz's tips. Mostly. Gaz's tips. Mostly. Gaz's tips. It's time for Gaz's tip.
Here's a reminder for those of you like me who are getting blind in their old age. If you go into system preferences and then into accessibility and turn on enable hover key in the zoom section, then if you hover your mouse over a particular small word or sentence, you press Command and then move your cursor over, the text enlarges and you can move it over several different sections of your screen. There are actually options when you're in there to actually change the text size, the text font, the location, You can also change the modifier, so you don't have to use command. You can actually choose other keys. You can also have a triple press modifier to set the activation lock. So if you were using command, if you press this on, you can then triple click the command key, and then your text enlarge capability comes on. You can have different colors, insertion point color, background color, all of that sort of stuff. So you go into accessibility, you go into zoom, and in there you will see hover text. Click it on, click on the information to change all of those extra settings, and then have a play with it. Sometimes it gets a bit, you have to get used to the way it works, but it does work. So if you're blind like me, or like Guy only have one eye, then this might be useful.
Why am I laughing?
And I don't know, because I'm really having
Nobody
a go at you,
knows.
and I really shouldn't. So
That's okay.
that's the end of Gaz's tip.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's
Most
the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
There we go. Okay. Very good. We don't really have any feedback this week. We don't have any.
Oh,
for Pig's sake.
no,
Oh,
but we
wait,
did
no.
have.
No,
we do,
no.
we
I'm
do-
sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Yeah, we
Go ahead.
do have feedback. Well, we don't have feedback from this week,
Yeah.
but we had feedback from the week before. Now, I've just got to get it into my favorites, but I've just got to find the damn item now and put it into Farrago, because I was doing so many other things before. So just let me just read the email that we got from Mac Jim. So
Okay.
apologies, Mac Jim, for missing this email last week, because Mac Jim did mention that we had been naughty boys, and he said, I think I put it into, yes, here we go. Oh no, I didn't. Where is it? I put it into our show notes. Mac Jim, Guy sounded like he was either in a public toilet or an empty factory, or possibly even a bomb shelter this week, with a laughy,
All
a
three.
laughy smiley face. Now, I am just going to find the clip that he sent us, because it is quite good and I quite liked it. Now, I've just got to say, where on earth did I put it? Because I've been rather. There we go. I'll drag it into here and I can then play it. So here we go.
Coming live from a nuclear bomb out shelter. Guys to the MyMac podcast show.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. Really appreciate it, dude.
Really is appreciated.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, especially from Guy.
Oh, the indignities.
The indignities.
Was there anything else that he sent, or was that it?
No, that's
Not
it.
that
I
he
think
had to send more.
I think that's enough.
Yeah, and we really appreciate it when you do send us in comments or suggestions or emails or anything having to do with the show. And of course, if it is the first time that you have done so, you will get a Woo T, which is a big W, big O, big O, big T, little I, little E, exclamation mark, and that is a Woo T.
Very good.
That is exactly what a Woo T is. And if you get one of those, you will be surprised at how your life will change. Yes. Not necessarily in a good way,
No,
but your life
Never,
will change.
never. It will
If you'd
change.
like to help support the show, you can do so by going to Patreon, patreon.com/MacParrot. You can go to coffee, ko-fi.com/MacParrot. You can also pay a pal through paypal.me/MacParrot. Now, Gas, if people wanted to get a hold of you and say, are you really saying that Jon Stewart wasn't censored in Apple TV? How could they do so?
Send an email to gaz@mymac.com. I am not going to mention X or Twitter, but I am on Threads.
Oh,
And
how's
and,
that working out?
and it's quiet. And on Mastodon and Counter Social. I'm also on Twitter as well. On any of those, apart from Mastodon, where you have to go at gazmaz@c.im, on the others, you just go Gazmaz, Gazmaz. And now I am going to
Gars.
mention Twitter, because Guy and Gaz is on Twitter. Perhaps we should have a Threads account, Guy. And you
should.
can find us there, GYANDGAZ.
Why? It's cars.
You can also contact us at feedback@mymac.com. FWDBACK.
Okay,
I love the fact that I can say that quicker than you can actually think about the first letter that you've got to say. Now,
yeah.
Guy.
That was an even longer one than the other.
Hi, Guy.
Yeah. Up. Can you not hear that one? Okay, let's go.
It's a little light.
Hi, Guy.
That's better. Hi, Guy.
And
Get up, Guy.
yeah.
Who the hell even knows who this guy is?
They don't. Nobody.
My
knows.
guy?
Yeah.
Your guy. Your guy. It's you. Yeah. I love you. Wait, you let who kiss you?
Guy.
Good guy.
He's also a really cute guy.
Yeah.
Cute guy. Yeah.
Guy's the one.
Yeah.
You remember Guy?
His name was Guy.
Oh.
At my signal. Unleash hell.
Guy.
Guy?
He's the guy. Pay no attention to that guy behind the curtain.
Guy says,
Wait, hold on. I screwed up.
no foolin'.
No.
If you want,
An email from Guy.
how would they do it?
Well, you would go to the email client of your particular choice and type in.
Hey, do you want me to do one?
Yeah. At mymac.com. Oh, had to hold my breath for that one. You can also contact me via the that Elon Musk platform, where I am both Mac Pettit and Vert Shark. I am Mac Parrot on Counter Social. And if you go to Mastodon, I am Mac Parrot at mastodon.social. Though I have to admit, I don't remember the last time I actually went to Mastodon. There's so many social media platforms out there right now. What else? I think that's about it, isn't it? Yeah.
It'll do me.
It'll do. We have a Google Voice number, Gaz. We do. It is 703.
Would you like me to give the number first?
Go ahead.
The Google Voice number, everybody. 703-828-4677. Would you like to give them that number again, Guy? Just in
I
case
will give
they
them that
missed
number again.
my
And we're not
very
even going to
slow
mention
and deliberate delivery.
We are not going to mention the other number.
What other number?
Dead. I don't even know anymore.
Did you get your money back?
No, it actually, one of the reasons why I stopped using it is they were like, okay, you need to put some more money in here. And it's like, no, not going to do it.
It was, you need to put some more money in, Guy.
No.
Exactly. But the Google Voice number that you can contact us on is, as Gaz said, 703-828-4677. It is a wonderful number. I don't know if it spells anything, and I don't care. Call that number instead of anything else. So I would like to say to all of you, thank you. Thank you so very, very much for downloading and listening. Damn it. Listen to the MyMac.com podcast. It is greatly appreciated each and every time you do so. And we love you. We love you so very, very much. And I think, Gaz,
what?
That we're good enough.
Yeah.
Also, that we're smart enough. And this was a short show, so that shows just how smart we are. And that, doggone it, Wilf, we love that little pup whenever we can find him, and can't always do so.
Oh.
People like us.
How do salads say grace?
I don't know, Gaz. How does salad say grace?
Let us pray.
Oh.
End.
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and go home.